Due to the hazardous risk of burning, especially in large plots of lands, the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands is reminding the public that they must first apply to the ministry for a license that would give them the authority to burn. This license will give persons the go-ahead to burn solely for agricultural purposes, according to the Agricultural Fires Act of 1951, which states that any person who before commencing the setting of fires on land shall apply in writing or appear in person to an authorized officer of the Ministry of Agriculture. Tasked with that responsibility is the Chief Extension Officer of the Ministry, Randolph Shears. He says the applicant must give good reasons for applying for that license.
We in the ministry, we advise that burning should be a last option because there are some materials that farmers can use for composting, which in composting the material is can be used as manure, as well as there are some materials that can be left in the field to rot. Now, if the cut materials is very difficult to compose or to leave in an area to rot, then we at the ministry considers issuing a license.
Mr. Shears noted that if the license is refused, then the farmer will be given advice as to what can be done to the material. He explains the terms and conditions that the farmers must adhere to once the license is granted.
The license is granted subject to the following terms and conditions. 1, that the fire be set in small heaps which can be managed. 2, that there is a reasonable area cleared between the heaps and existing crops and neighbors' lands to prevent spreading of the fire. Thirdly, a supply of water must be available during the entire operations. And fourthly, the fire service of the Royal Grenada Police Force should be notified before the setting of any fire.
Sergeant Adrian Panchu, officer attached to the Fire Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, speaks to the penalty for burning without the issuance of a license.
If someone goes ahead and burn on agricultural lands without obtaining a license or without applying for a license, the penalty is $500 or 3 months in prison. The law speaks to a person who would have applied not getting any answer or any response to their application within 10 days. It says that that person can go ahead and burn. So if someone goes into the Ministry of Agriculture on, let's imagine, on the 1st of July, and today is the 10th of July, and tomorrow they hadn't received any response saying yea or nay to the license, they can go ahead and burn. And under that section of the law, as fire personnel, if we are called in, we would not be able to arrest and charge a person for setting fire without a license in that case. However, if the fire gets out of control, they can be charged for any damages that can be caused to any other person's property.
For the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Karima Lewis.